Okay, black people, this is for you and anybody else on my page that wants to learn a little bit of anything or just, hear this out, whatever the fuck. I don't care. Y'all are being fucking annoying as shit. Okay? Love y'all. I'm really not like the one to be spreading hate towards my people at all, but there's a lot of fucking things going on that I need to address, and I'm not gonna split up videos fucking doing this, so it's gonna be a 10-minute rant and I'm gonna just jump all over the place. Y'all need to learn history before y'all get into discussions about whether y'all want to paint somebody a certain way. Uh, Tyler the Creator. Let's talk about it for a little bit. This man, I grew up in the era in which he became a rapper, all that stuff. I was there for all the lore of it. Okay? I need y'all to understand at that time, and especially what Tyler was inspired by. He's an underground hip hop rapper. He's inspired by underground hip hop. He's inspired by horrorcore rappers. Eminem was one of his biggest influences, and he loved a lot of other rap, right? But he was an alt kid. He was a nerd boy. He still is. He loves a lot of genres. He's very nerdy. He's very alternative. He's very underground hip hop. All of that is intertwined. Okay, he was a skater kid. Okay, he was a memer. Okay, Loiter Squad. He was a memer. You need to understand the culmination of who the fuck he was. Okay, so at that time, yes, problematic as fuck. Okay, making historic music, making one of the greatest groups ever made of all time, and in hip hop, damn near right now, you can argue they're like top. Their arguments for top 10 group, top five in my opinion. But the point is, Earl, not Earl. I love Earl, by the way, my goat. Anyway, but Tyler and the whole group had their issues. They were not supposed to be in the positions that they were, and it was a big deal that they were able to break through the ceiling that they were able to get to with the ages they were, the music they were making, the type of sound they had, the aura they had, the type of humor they had. Everything they were doing was very alt culture, very underground rap, very hip hop, very black. Okay, now they were children, not excusing their behavior, but they had to grow. They were learning things. They were becoming more into themselves. They were learning about their sexualities. They were doing a lot of things, okay? He was unwoke to a degree. Yes, he said some things. Parts of how his style was to combat those things. And he was an Eminem fan, and he was inspired by the satire. A lot of people that don't know Eminem or understand his style and misinterpret him is the fact that Eminem made Slim Shady not to only heal himself, but to heal us and heal the world and combat the problems and push the culture forward in the sense of anti feelings and movements and questioning everything they're doing, and also critiquing the evilness that is going on the planet in a way that is very melded with it, but it's critiquing it. You are not supposed to be like Slim Shady. You are not supposed to look up to Slim Shady, other than how he is grounded in himself and how outspoken he is and how he doesn't give a fuck and how he will stand up for things and how he will stand up for his opinions and his ideals and culture and pushing stuff forward. That is what you're supposed to draw from society. You're not supposed to want to go out and essay girls. You're not supposed to want to go out and are grape girls. You're not supposed to want to go out and kill people. Slim Shady's whole persona, to a degree, is satire and melded with that sentiment. If you understand that about Tyler's understanding of hip hop and understanding of that type of rap, right? Yes, you can like the shock value nature of it and how anti it is and all that stuff. He's still young though. So when you meld all that with everything else that he was loving and growing through, he literally was unwoke to a degree. Yes, from things he said, things he was doing, but he was also growing. Tyler did create those fans. He did help with that. It was a bad thing. He's aware of that. You know what happened? He grew. He deconstructed more. He learned more. He loves his culture. He loves black people. He has made it pretty goddamn apparent with every album he has made since Flower Boy Beyond. He has been outspoken about rights. He's been outspoken for black artists. He's been outspoken for artists in general and music in general with the oppression they are under and the perception of our culture. He has openly talked about the dissension and the parading around of our culture in a certain way and blackness in a certain way. He also literally went on Funk Master Flex and did a freestyle about being homosexual. I need you to understand, niggas didn't just do that. That was intentional. Yeah, it's funny. And yeah, it was bars. But he literally was doing things that were not being done to progress our culture forward. Not only because he realized he was also LGBTQ, and I always knew he was LGBTQ from how he acted. He had to learn that himself, accept it, and now that he's progressed as a human, we're going back to, oh, he's the one that programmed all these fans to be that way. That's not how it works. Yes, that works. That's bad. He's aware of that. Why do you think he calls out Swifties? Why do you think he called out Ian as a rapper and his place in hip hop? Why do you think he talks to these people in the crowd about reading goddamn books and like not acting certain ways? And then the whole fan perspective of don't like treat that also comes from Eminem, the way I am. Eminem was rapping about stalking culture. Like, so again, like y'all just don't know things or have context of things, and then y'all open your mouths and you're like, oh, Tyler is, why is she complaining about this? He's been complaining about how his fans and white culture has been. He's been combating his fans for a long time because he knows he ingrained some of this in them, a lot of this in them. And a lot of other people in the spaces. He's combating stuff that what didn't just come from him. Our culture is entirely ingrained with racism in that way, hip hop especially, and the gentrification and colonization of our genre as well, with all these white people in it, you know, doing what they're doing and acting how they're acting and just not even appreciating our culture or even understanding the layers of it. Tyler has done the work to learn all that, care deeper about the music, to do all that, and then also has been combating everything that he helped add bad to during those times. Like, it's just like nobody knows all that or the layers or the intricacies or deduces the totality and the nuance of the conversation. Remember dissecting the Tyler stuff to say all that, or they weren't here to remember and know all of that about his arc. So I have an issue with the tearing him down and saying, oh, well, this is his fault. It's not just his fault, but he has done more to try to fix that than a lot of people do. Some of them are still harming that you give passes, like Nicki Minaj, like Lil Wayne, that have been for decades harming the culture, harming black people, harming women in a lot of ways from a cultural perspective. But they're still gods of the genre. They've never had accountability the way Tyler has, and trying to fix this and addressing that and having those problems and calling it out. So it's a little reductive to try to paint him as this misogynistic, terrible person when he has grown. And I'm not saying he's super apologized, but I feel like he has made it pretty apparent where he stands on our culture, where he stands about LGBTQ rights, black rights, human rights. I think he has made it pretty goddamn clear. So can we just start adding that into the conversation when we're talking about Tyler, please? Or understanding that, or ask that, or research it, or something. Like, Jesus. Again, Earl from Odd Future. He went to Samoa. He had to get fixed too. Earl was woke back then though, and he was crazy, and he was saying shit that was very, he's one of the ones. Earl's one of the ones. But the point is, he also has talked about these subjects. He has made up for these things. He has, and it's just like, I don't think Tyler and the people that like develop are very like, oh, what I did wasn't terrible. It didn't have a negative impact. But that's how people are acting, and they're acting like there's no development. They haven't changed. It's literally been, it's all seeable. With one Google search, one Google click, you can read all of this, find the music, or you can ask somebody who just knows. By the way, not even that ingrained into Tyler's stuff. I purposely was one of the people that stayed away from his earlier music because I saw that he wasn't fully being himself or fully understanding of the culture in certain ways. So I wanted him to grow to the point that he got to. And he got there with Flower Boy and has been continuing since. Because I didn't hate Tyler for how he was acting. I just knew it came from him being young and not understanding certain things. Because guess what? We all have to deconstruct. And he has done a damn fine job deconstructing and trying to reconstruct and fix the other deconstructed motherfuckers that he helped create. That these other people helped create. God, can we have nuance? Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Can we stop tearing down each other when we don't deserve to be torn down as much? Please.